Hello everyone, welcome to probably what is going to be the longest movie-related video on the channel. I have no actual idea how long this could be. It could be short for all I know, because I could go through this quickly. This is the Pixar ranking video that I promised at the end of my review for Luca, and that I've mentioned, like, in the other reviews after Luca. So, I really wanted to talk about Pixar. I have the list on this paper, you will not see it, because of my shitty handwriting. You could be spoiled. I would not care if you knew how my list went already. I just don't want anyone to see it because my writing. You can maybe see it through here. You see that bad handwriting? No, it doesn't focus. I just wanted to talk about my opinions with Pixar. I think it's a great company who makes some, I'd say, 40% of the time, great to if better films. And other times, not so much. I feel like a lot of people think they have a perfect track record. I don't think that necessarily. That it's perfect, but I did want to go through them all. Since there are 24 films now, and next year we aren't getting another one until next year, which will be the 25th film, which I think will be a fun one to discuss. It's called Turning Red. It's going to be about a young teenage girl, I think, going through puberty, but like anytime something spurtful or crazy or something anxiety related happens, she turns into a giant red beast. And I think that's a funny concept, and I can't wait to see what they do with that, because it's original. The one after that's not necessarily original, 26, which will also be next year, is Lightyear. It'll be about Buzz Lightyear, but not the toy. It'll be about, like, what he is as a character. So, like, what the toy is advertised as is a badass space ranger. So we're going to get a badass space ranger film. And it's going to be, like, a real grown, adult-looking person, Buzz Lightyear type, voiced by Chris Evans. That's a fun concept. We'll see what they do with it. Hopefully they have something more interesting up their sleeve with that. Anyway, let's just get into it already. Number 24. Should be obvious, and I would hope it'd be the same ranking for everyone on this one. Cars 2. In my notes here I put, nothing is worse than Cars 2. It's simple as that. Nothing is worse than Cars 2. Cars 2 is just Cars 1. Get rid of the racing aspect of what the Cars film should logically be about Lightning McQueen, and then you throw it to Mater and give him a shitty spy mission film with probably one of the worst characters that Pixar has come up with. I will say, Mater in Cars 1, as a nostalgia factor, isn't a terrible character. Mater as a main character, the leading character, the person in the forefront, is a terrible fucking idea. Even as a kid, I remember I didn't even have good memories of this movie. Like, I didn't even rewatch it until, like, 5 years after I saw it. Because I just had no interest to go back to Cars 2. Even Cars 1 I think I rewatched beyond that point. Because I saw it in theaters with my mom for sure, and it just did not hold any interest for me to go back to. Cars 2 is just fucking weird. It's such a weird film, like, when you really take time to think about it. Because it starts out like a racing film with Lightning McQueen, and then you're kind of just moved into this dumbfounded and illogical area for a film. I don't know what they were going for with Cars 2. Just personally, I didn't, but maybe someone out there can tell me. The animation is good, of course, but that's not like something I can give props to. 2 or 3 solid jokes and some good animation being the only redeeming qualities about this movie are not something that mean it's a good film. I could say Emoji Movie has nice looking animation and a few funny moments, and I would still give that film like a 2 out of 10. And on any judgment, this movie's also just dull and boring. It doesn't go anywhere, if I'm being honest. The racing scenes are not as good even as the first one. And when you're not on the racing scenes, that spy stuff has no interest, and it's kind of fucking terrible. And with Mater at the lead, it just brings down the film. So I gave Cars 2 a 2 out of 10. That's my number 24. Number 23, another one that I think a lot of people will agree with. The Good Dinosaur. In this one I wrote, most boring film. So maybe not my worst, but I definitely think this is the most boring one I sat through. I did see this one. It was the same year I remember Inside Out came out. I think Inside Out was their first film that year. I think this was the one that came out around the end of the year. And I remember seeing Good Dinosaur and being like, well, that was boring. I didn't even like it really that much. I wouldn't even say I was really a kid at that point. I would have been 13 when that came out. So, like, just hitting the teenage area. And I thought that shit was boring. I don't know. And you could say, like, well, you grew up. But no, I still find animated and kids' films great. Like, it doesn't change my mind. That film just felt dull. When I remember watching it, I remember thinking it was, like, a Lion King type ripoff. In its concept, it's funny. The dinosaurs don't go extinct. the fucking asteroid misses. That's a funny concept to play with, like, oh, and they've grown to be smart and capable of talking and doing human chores that we're known to, so the humans still stay fucking cavemen because they're not alone. They're just kind of idiots who run around trying not to get killed. And this main, I already forgot the main fucking dinosaur's name. I rewatched all these movies before Onward was coming out. No, scratch that, not Onward. I rewatched them before Soul was coming out, because Soul was during the pandemic, so I had a lot of time to rewatch these. And I rewatched quite a few again before this video, before Luca came out. And that was not when I rewatched them, but I rewatched it before Soul was coming out. Probably sometime in October or November, the month before it came out, and I don't remember his character's name. It has not even been 8 months, and I cannot tell you that character's name. The main character of the movie, the Good Dinosaur. So we'll just call him Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur is boring. How else can I describe it? There's not even much I can remember about the film. That just should show how kind of uninteresting and not unique it is. I feel like even fucking other movies I have low on this list, even the first Cars, has something unique to say about it. I don't know anything I could tell you about The Good Dinosaur that you would be interested to hear me talk about, because there's just nothing to it. It's a film, an animated film that came out that's so fucking boring and lame. Oh, I remember, the comedy's not funny. Every joke is almost cringe humor, and it's a lackluster thing. And I do remember I didn't like the either the kid or the dinosaur. I thought they were both terrible leads that didn't really play into anything. I gave The Good Dinosaur a 3 out of 10, and I would just say don't watch it. It's there, and a lot of people don't like it. I don't like it either. Number 22, Brave. Some people like Brave. It was my most anticipated film of the year it was coming out in. For people who, I have a board up over here that tells me the year. It was 2012. I wanted to make sure it wasn't 2011. Because if it was 2011, the most anticipated film I would have had that year, I wouldn't know. 2012, though, in 2013, I started to get into more films. They were mostly animated, but then later on in time, I grew into all films. Animation's not my favorite genre anymore because I'm not a kid. But that was my most anticipated that year of 2012, was definitely to see Brave. That, and I remember they were advertising the trailer for Monsters University, which was coming out the next year, and I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, a Monsters University trailer, and I get to see it at Brave. Huh, that's awesome. But Brave's trailer looked unique. It had, like, something different to it. It kind of had this fantasy action epic vibe, and I wrote, looked cool, was not good. I put was bad, but I probably should wait it was not good. Because saying it was bad, I don't know if I could call this movie bad. Perhaps some people could have fun with it. It's just so dull and an average, a little bit below average even. It doesn't go anywhere. It's chuckle-worthy. I like some of the jokes early on. It feels like it's going to start going in a very unique path, and then it just is like a girl who had arguments with her mom, hiding her mom from people who will kill her because she looks like a bear, and being a bear in this fucking area would get you killed. And they have funny accents. That's the joke. I remember there was like 3 ass jokes I can still remember. I did rewatch this one again recently to give it a chance. I rewatched it before Soul, and I actually just watched this before Luca again. Don't know why, I just wanted to give it a rewatch. And I still, not much keeps up with me. I guess Miyoda's not the worst lead character. They could have had someone worse. They do, again, the trailer makes her look so cool. Maybe I'll insert a clip of the trailer here. And if I didn't insert a clip, I forgot to, and I skipped past this because, hell, if I know. There's just nothing great about Brave. It's not Brave. It's, in fact, very simple, and they played it safe. There's a way to make this an epic and be more unique. This could have been an awesome film, and it just went to be nothing from them. So yeah, that's my number 22. Number 21. I think I can get to this one quickly. Cars. The first Cars. I don't know how people are going to feel because people my age, this is probably their big childhood movie. It was the first movie I had seen in a theater. I was 3.5, maybe almost 4 years old. I don't remember when it came out in that year. But it came out in 2006. That I remember. I believe it might have been the summer, so I probably would have been like 3.5 years old going to see this in a theater. And I just remember enjoying it then. And it was kind of one I grew up with. It was this, Finding Nemo, and Monsters, Inc. were the main 3 I watched a lot as a kid. Those were just the ones we had on DVD, including Incredibles. That was my dad's favorite. To me, all the other ones were at the time. But Cars now, I look back at it, and it's all right. It's a very 50-50. I said Brave was below average and a 4 out of 10. This is just average. It is simply average. It starts out really great. I actually love the first 35 minutes. There's a lot of adult jokes. The racing stuff really fits into the core of the plot. Lightning McQueen is just a douchebag character. There's some funny humor with marketing in there and capitalism of the character, which comes back into play in the third one in a different way. And you haven't heard me name it, so clearly the third one is my favorite, as you know now. But Cars 1, it's just okay. I don't see much here to talk about with Cars 1. All the side characters are fine. Mater's at least a side character, so he's tolerable. He's not like a fucking annoyance who's there the entire film. Like Cars 2. I like Lightning McQueen. He's a fun character to be with for the entirety of the film. The Doc Hudson, famous Hudson Hornet plot, that plot is cool and kind of cute when you think about the passing of the actor and all that. I don't know. Cars 1 is okay. It's like, if I went back to rewatch a film, it certainly would be more rewatchable than the other three I named before it. And maybe even a few, maybe like the one above it. Just because of that nostalgia factor. But I think as a film, it's just very 50-50, and I had to give the first Cars a 5 out of 10. Number 20, Cars 3. I just bought this one on Blu-ray. I got the digibook for it, the really cool-looking digibook. I would go grab it, but then that would waste time in the video. But it looks fairly cool. The digibook. I just remembered I can pause. This digibook, it looks cool. So it is the movie, but it's like a booklet. I think people, if no one knows what digibooks are. And there's the movie. I actually, since I just got this, I did rewatch it, and I'll set it aside. I did just rewatch Cars 3. So with that in knowledge, it's probably my favorite Cars film. It finally delves back into racing. It knows when to be comedic and take itself seriously, but it's never like cringy comedy. Like, Mater's only on screen for maybe like fucking 2 minutes of this movie. So that comedy is very limited, and I kind of liked where they go with the story, the ending. I liked Lightning McQueen's arc in it. It surprisingly is an okay film. It's still not original, really. It's still lacking on a big creativity standpoint that I don't just expect from Pixar, I just expect from a film to hopefully have. Like even when the villain is so shitty, I think his name was Johnny Storm, something. Jackson Storm, maybe? I don't remember. He's the one on the back. Reese Lightning McQueen. I don't know, he just doesn't, he's not a good villain. It's that cliche plot you've heard before, like, you're old now and you need to retire. But Lightning McQueen doesn't want to. Racing was like his dream, and, it limits him. And it's that cliche path. It's predictable as hell. But the ending, it kind of works. The animation looks stunning. Like, honestly, the racing scenes are very intense. It's my Texan accent coming out. And real. So, like, the scenes look realistic, and I gotta give them that. It's enjoyable. I had more fun than all the other films I mentioned on the list, and it's the weakest of my positive scores. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So, yeah, I do give it a positive score, but very minimal. Number 19, Finding Dory. Finding Nemo was my big one as a kid, like ages 1 to 6. I think my mom said I probably watched the DVD 150,000 times. Genuinely, she said the DVD got damaged from how much I watched it, that we bought a second and a third one. Which I don't have now. I have the 4K of it now. Of Finding Nemo. And Dory, I think I also have a 4K of. Yeah. So yeah, going into Finding Dory when it was coming out, it was one of my most looked forward to movies. But at the same time, I had that fear in me that I did with Cars 2, and I was starting to get into films now. I was older. It was 2016, and it was mid-2016. So I would have been 13, 14. I might have been 14 this time. I don't remember. I definitely started to become more critical and noticeable of what makes a good film and what I enjoy from films and in everything. Overall, the aspect. I was definitely growing by 2016 and 17. 18 was the peak. That's I would say I've learned a lot about film when watching it, and I watched so many fucking films between 2017 to now. At least 150 new ones a year. It's crazy how much I watch. So yeah, Finding Dory was kind of at that peak, and I was worried, she's a side character. Is this gonna kind of, mess up the entire film like Cars 2 did? And for its most part, it doesn't. Finding Dory finds a way to be charming for the most part. The character of Hank is fucking awesome. The squid she finds, he's really funny. I'm trying to remember who plays him, but his character is really good. He provides almost all the humor and heart to find a balance with Dory as a character. Dory does become annoying on her own, but when she's with side characters, it's never as bad. There's some okay jokes. Once they start driving cars, oh my god, the last 30 minutes is a little too pissy and annoying for me. I just don't think that worked, but for the most part, the film really lays a good groundwork on what to enjoy and what not to enjoy. Simple, fun, basic movie. Again, kind of like Cars 3. I honestly think it's equal to Cars 3 when I say this, but I have more love for Finding Nemo, so probably the franchise of Finding Nemo is just slightly beating the Cars one. But about an equal rating for a film, a 6 out of 10. Next up, Monsters U, Monsters University. I just wrote Monsters U. I wrote next to this, fun but lazy. I do think that's exactly what this is. This is a really fun little film. I like the concept they're going to college. It's like this 80s college party film. They have like their fake games. It's kind of like a Revenge of the Nerds, Animal House, but brought down to like a G-rated film and this competition story through college. Like, it has that fun vibe to it. And I know it's college isn't exactly like this, and this is a very limited scope of it because it's a G-rated film. But I had fun with it. I still have fun with it. I would put this one on for comfort, maybe. Like, if I'm really bored, even though I like the first one more, I put this one on if I'm bored. I probably would have an okay time, and I could look back and forth. It's the type of film like Finding Dory. You could, like, fucking do dishes or clean the house in the background or do something else, and then you just have it on and be like, huh, that's fun. The last 25 minutes of this are really fucking good. Like, honestly, they become very emotional. I like what they were doing with it. I love the animation style. With Mike Wazowski and Sully near the lake and just his breakdown of, like, he's not a real scarer. It's a great concept to play with into that film. And especially knowing it's a prequel, it does work knowing that we know who the characters are before that point. Which is the one confidence I can give in the prequel aspect. Otherwise, they should have, just done a sequel. Monsters at Work. That's not a Pixar film, but that is coming out very soon, and it is going to be sequel-based to Monsters, Inc. So we'll see where that ends up. Monsters U, 6 out of 10 as well. Just a fun but basic film. I wonder if this is controversial this high, because, like, some people have it extremely low. It's still low. Like, in all consideration, it's only above, like, 7 other movies. And that is A Bug's Life. Yeah, it's basic. I have about as much fun as the last 3 I named. Again, same thing, like villain, weak characters can be fun. It just is simple to put on and good to have in the background. At least it's more original than the last 3 I named. Those are all sequels with very over-reliance to them. But this one at least has some originality, but it's about as good as those films. So, again, Bug's Life, 6 out of 10. Coming at number 16, The Incredibles 2. When I first got it out of the theater, I gave it a higher score, like a 7-ish, because I had so much goddamn fun. I've definitely put it at where it deserves, and that's a 6 out of 10 again. I'm letting you know the score already. I have a lot of 6 out of 10s, because I think in recent years, or just in general, Pixar has a lot of very average films that maybe some people overstep. Maybe some people have given Finding Dory and Incredibles 2 and shit like that too much credit. I feel like they have. This film is okay. It's a lot of good humor. The comedy is certainly the standout. Like, just having Mr. Incredible play that dad figure is so goddamn funny. Like, it works so much. The Jack scenes do as well. The raccoon fight. All those bits are so Incredibles comedic level. Like, the comedy from that Incredibles film carry over into the second film. And I have fun with it. I think that they do a fairly good job balancing that type of humor with these different superpowered characters. And with all that to be said, its story is very weak. It is kind of like Cars 3. They come into a guy who's like willing to buy them as a person, as a product. Like, you're the old guy, you know? You could be marketed and have your huge capitalism and product and your own merch, like Lightning McQueen gets. Same plot given here. I'm trying to remember which came out first. Cars 3 was 2017. This was 2018, like I thought. But it's kind of that same plot with Bob Odenkirk being that guy, which is funny that Bob Odenkirk gets a small role because Kathleen, what's her fucking name? I don't remember what her name is. I'm trying to find it really quick because I have a list of stuff. Kathleen Keener? Okay. She plays the villain. Her villain twist is incredibly awful. The villains whose name I'm already forgetting. What is it? The eye spinner, the time looper. I already forgot his name. Who gives a shit? This is such a weak villain. Like, they tell you that she's the villain within, like, a minute of her showing up. They're like, her name is Evelyn Dever. Like, Evil Endeavor. You gotta be shitting me. How do you even... like, I know that that's probably, like, as a joke written to kids who will get it later and they'll find it funny, or maybe some of the adults miss past it, but that practically tells you she's the villain. And if not, almost everything she says is so cryptic, and I'm like, she's gonna be the villain. And then once you find out what her, like, explanation for being the villain is, it's so weak, and the third act is fucking terrible. Like, if that third act had been, like, super entertaining and I felt the villain and where the characters were going, I would probably give it, like, an 8, and I would think it'd be a great film. But it completely falls flat at the end. Its first 2 acts are a lot of fun, and the family dynamic is great. Also, no Honey, Where's My Super Suit recall. But it's fine. 6 out of 10. Number 15. This one's definitely going to be controversial, because some people think this is top 5 material. That is Toy Story 3. What to say about Toy Story 3 without getting everyone pissed off because it's some people's favorite? It's just, to me, the weakest one. I really don't know what people see in the third one that, like, astonishes them to think it's a great film. It's literally a repeat of 2 with the other hinted aspect that the characters have gotten older and that Andy's going to college. So that hint just moves the location and moves the human character to being older and moves them forward. It doesn't move anything else in the plot other than being a repetitive plot. Like, the characters get completely held back from something, causing an argument for them to split, and then they end up being in a place that they don't want to be, and then eventually they're like, oh, maybe we should want to be here. The only difference is instead of Woody wanting to be with the people from Toy Story 2, it's all the other gang wanting to be at the daycare while he goes back with Andy, and we have to be there for him even till the end. Eventually that plot gets kind of reconciled, so it doesn't come to full importance. It's an alright film. Some of the jokes are funny. The baby is really funny, the fucking baby, and they throw people in the sandpit, and daycare's like living torture, and they get like murdered and beaten and shit. That aspect was really funny. That takes up like 15 minutes of the movie. The Ken doll moments are really funny with Michael Keaton playing Ken. That takes up like 5 minutes of the movie. There's these little elements where I'm like, these are really funny and really clever. Holy shit, like the Toy Story films still have like some weight to them. But even the ending, it feels so forceful to be like sad and dark. The concept of where it's leaving the characters just feels forced and kind of fake. I don't buy it all. I don't know. Something about this film just doesn't work for me all the way through. And it probably works for a lot of other people, but for me it's the weaker one of the bunch, and I would also give it a 6 out of 10. And last up in the 6 out of 10 is number 14, Up, not down. Although it is down to the lower half of the list. Just barely. Just barely. If it were number 12, it'd be in the higher half of the list. Up is an okay film. Its first 30 minutes are excellent. The next 30 minutes are okay. The last 30 minutes are bad. I feel the same way about The Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 3, except I actually like the last 30 minutes of Toy Story and the first 30. There's that middle act, after some of the daycare stuff happens, that feels like filler and feels like complete copycatted shit from the second Toy Story. Up in that middle act is okay. That beginning act is obviously perfect. It's damn near funny once it gets to a certain point, but it begins so emotionally awesome. Its score is gorgeous, the animation's gorgeous. It was such an uprise, like, after. Because this had come out right after WALL-E in 2007. This was 2008. When did it come out? 2008? Not even a full year. It came out in May of 2008. WALL-E came out in June of 2000. Oh, sorry. My bad. Rad 2 was 2007. WALL-E was 2008 of June. This was 2009 of May. So not even a full year later still. And the animation had just grown so much, I already felt. It looked gorgeous. It had a unique concept. I like the house floating with balloons. That's heartwarming. That has like some very big charm to what they did in the past, because obviously they were like selling balloons and they were trying to raise their own family. There's that opening scene. You know it. I don't need to talk about it for you to already start crying out there. It's such a good scene. And it doesn't feel forced. Like, that emotional moment in the beginning does not feel forced. And that could be the amazing score. That could just be the writing and how it is and the animation. But that opening is great. It just eventually delves into nothingness. The second act is, again, about as good as, like, a second act of Incredibles 2, where it's, like, fun and it flows okay. Same for Toy Story 3, where it's, like, it flows alright. It's a little bit of fun. Villain here, again, weak. I think the fact that it's, like, a hero he looked up to fighting back against him, once the plot really gets into what it is, it's about a fucking bird. I don't know. It gets weak. I actually don't like the last 30 minutes. I almost could sleep if anytime I watched, I could watch the first hour and then sleep, and I'd wake up being like, well, that was a good movie, because what aspect do you get from that last 30 minutes? That's probably going to be argued again, and people are probably going to want more reasoning. I just don't think anything in that third act works. It's a weak villain, a weak plot. At a point, you just have to give up on why some of the characters do what they do. The dogs are fucking hilarious. That's a big boost to why it's the highest of my 6 out of 10s. So yeah, up at 14, 6 out of 10. Next up, number 13 is Coco, and not the hot chocolate, which I could use right now because my house is kind of cold. Coco is a movie that when I first saw it, the first 2 times I saw it in theaters, I was like, this might be one of their best fucking movies. I definitely think I was overreacting. I think that it is one of their most creative films, certainly in its first 2 acts. People are probably going again like, you always complain about the fucking ending. Yeah, sorry. Not that the ending here is fully bad. This is already improving over all those 6. I just give a shitload of 6 out of 10s. So you're finally not getting a 6 out of 10, so I'll let y'all know that. I think this one is so good in its first 2 acts. This is one still that the ending that makes me cry. There is an element here of the twist. The twist villain, I think, is really weak. I think that I was like, oh, I called that. I assumed that. Then you find out that the twist villain, who is like the musician who everyone loves, is like the villain. And once I found out he was the villain, I was like, this is such a weak plot. Like, when you really look at the fact that he's the villain, what plot or interest does that have? And then you find out he killed Hector, and I'm like, that's terrible. That's like a fucked up thing. That's going to become emotionally relevant later on. Later on, we get to his concert, and he's about to kill Coco, and then he throws him off the fucking edge, and then the dialogue he says is like all very like, oh, what is it? It was like, yes, I did kill him, and I killed him too, and now I'm going to throw you off the edge. His dialogue is like almost as if he's talking to the audience when they flip the cameras on him to get the whole fucking audience to rebel against him at the ending of it. It's so forceful. Again, I think it's that forceful emotion from Pixar where they're like, we have to hammer it in, make the audience fucking cry. That it just doesn't work. Animation-wise, I would say stylistically, probably the best they've ever had. I'm not going to say it looks the most real. I might say like Soul or Cars 3 has some really good looking shit. Other movies like that have like more realistic all-around features. But Coco, once they get to the land of the dead, I thought looked fucking excellent. It's so unique and awesome to look at all that detail and just pause. You could pause probably any frame of that place and it would look like a gorgeous scenery shot and it would be worth hanging on a wall. So good with the animation, so good with the style. The music is excellent. Like the soundtrack I had stuck in my head for such a long time that when everyone was telling me that the Spanish version of it sounded even better, I actually went to go back in theaters just to hear the music in Spanish. So I went to go watch it in Spanish with English subtitles, and that was they weren't lying. It is even better in Spanish. Great music, great concept, beautiful looking film. Really good humor those first 2 acts, and even the third act isn't terrible. That villain twist is super goddamn weak, and the forceful punches that come are pretty weak. And I've also found the rewatchability of this one not super high. Like, I couldn't rewatch this all the time. Even though I was going a few times when this was coming out, like quite a bit in theaters. Number 12, Toy Story 1. That's super controversial. People are like, why isn't that your number 3 or 2 or your 1? That's the best one. Toy Story, yeah, they're probably also thinking, why is 4 above it? We'll get there. Toy Story 1 is awesome, but it's dated. I have to admit, in a time being, I was like giving it all the credit it deserved, but I've grown up to be like, it's dated. That animation is kind of weak looking, and I can't say that it's bad. There's just a point where you kind of feel awkward watching it and looking at some frames. You're like, I mean, it looks okay, it looks solid, but there's some animation nowadays that's shittier, so I can't even blame it for that. But it does feel dated. Its story does too. There's a lot of humor that is certainly have been dated from that point. Its rewatchability factor still remains high. Its heartwarming moments are cool. I love the concept of Buzz thinking he's like this badass, which I think maybe Lightyear will be that. I can't wait to see how he thought he was as a badass, because this is genuinely going to be that badass. This is this goofy-ass toy that flies around a room. Or sorry, he didn't fly. He was falling with style, as I must say. It's a great film. I'm still not going to take anything away from that. It's just, to me, has been bogged down to just that great film that I wouldn't put above a lot of other shit that they've done. It's a good one, though. Certainly, like, no one take away all that from it. Some elements are weak, some humor's dated, the animation looks a little dated. I know that's going to be hard to say because it's that old, and you'd be like, it's that old, you can't judge it, but you kind of can. Like, there's a point where it reaches. Like, I'm sure there's shit that has not held up well. This holds up pretty well, but there's elements that don't work. And for me, it's not as entertaining as other Pixar movies. It's just like, a good one there. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Number 11, and people are going to be like, you just put these fucking movies above it? What's wrong with you? Number 11, for me, is Onward. I loved Onward when I first saw that in theaters. That ending, I had not cried that long at an ending in a while. And I didn't feel it was forced. It was one of those elements where I was like, oh, this actually feels natural to what the director was trying to say with the film. And once I saw that element, I'm sorry, I'm going to drink this while I talk. Once that element had, appealed in the film, the idea he actually lost his father, I was like, well, where's that going to take the story? He takes it to such a good extent. It is so heartwarming and powerful, that ending. That ending is one of the most impressive endings I've seen Pixar pull off, especially with where the film starts. The weakest part of Onward is the beginning. I think that first act is a little slow. Once that 30 minutes is gone, the adventure really kicks up. The comedy becomes really goddamn funny. There are so many great jokes in the second and third act, and I do think that huge ending powerful moment is there. That ending does work. There is that huge climactic moment where stuff would work. And I haven't even drinking this yet. But with all that being said, I can understand if that part doesn't relate to you, possibly a loved fatherhood plot or brother plot. I have an older brother, and I still have a dad who was kind of goofy, and they mentioned the dad was kind of a goofball. And throughout just the movements of his legs, walking around, he does goofy dances and shit, because it's just what his character is. I thought those moments were not 100% relatable, because it's a kid's film and they have to limit stuff, but I thought it was very heartwarming, and it really did appeal to me. Also, a big D&D guy, right around the time that movie was coming out, I was starting to get into D&D around 2020, like late 2019, early 2020, so that's fucking hilarious that all that shit was kind of played in the movie. I thought it was great. I could rewatch the film right now, and I would have fun. Weak beginning, slow start, and the very, very, very ending, the end of the film. I guess there's not really much impact after that emotional dad scene and the brother scene, that bonding, So after that, I guess it's kind of weak, but I thought it was great, and I would give Onward an 8 out of 10, and we'll move on to my number 10, which is Disney Pixar's newest film, their 24th feature, Luca. And in my review, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I have rewatched it twice since then, and I definitely think I was judging it in a harsh way. I kind of feel maybe now, if Pixar doesn't deliver that great tension of emotional relief and a great perfect ending, some way like Coco and Up, and I think Toy Story 3 and those movies kind of fail, as I mentioned. If they can't deliver that, if they could deliver just a fun, highly rewatchable, quick-paced 80-minute film, I would honestly be more satisfied with that just from now on, because Luca is so goddamn entertaining. In my review, I mentioned I had a lot of fun and I could keep my eyes on the screen. I watched that film when I was really fucking tired, and since I've rewatched it more and more times, at this point, I might even watch it a fourth time, I find it just to be their most fun, their most just film. It feels like an entertaining film. It's an adventure, a coming-of-age film about friendship and doing these crazy things. The worst part about this movie is the fucking villain. I don't think an act is boring. I think the first act, maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes or so, are a little slow. Past that, becomes a great message about friendship, a lot of really solid jokes, and a beautiful-looking style that I haven't seen Pixar tackle. The style to this film is very unique to what they've done before. And I gotta give it credit. It's their most fun. Honestly, I said 11 Onward, 10 Luca. Those could be flipped. I would honestly say, just because Luca's new and I had a lot of fun with it I'm putting this here, Onward had more heart to me. So, let's just say number 10, Onward and Luca, and they're about equal films. It really depends on the mood. But goddamn, this is a really goddamn great fun film. It's not impactful, it's not emotional, it's not something very unique as a story, but the rewatchability factor is so high on this one. I just gotta give it an 8 out of 10. It's so good. Coming in at number 9, Toy Story 4. Let's see how mad people get now. Yeah, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I think that this was better than 1 and 3. I think that the ending for the characters here was a more fitting ending than what 3 gave them. I think that the comedy here was fucking hilarious. This might be the funniest Pixar film. I'm not even joking. Ducky and Bunny are so goddamn funny. When Keanu Reeves shows up, so many jokes with him are so goofy and cheesy. I was laughing my ass off. There's a joke at the ending with him where I genuinely hadn't laughed that loud in a long time. The characters are so unique. They do something so new with all of them. Bo Peep is finally not just a slut. And I think that's a funny concept in those first 2 films, but she's a character now, and that it actually worked emotionally, especially for that ending. Woody has grown so much as a character that you almost feel like you've jumped so many films from the third to that ending of the third just feeling less impactful, and I think this one does it better. The only plot lines I can't see is like Bonnie really wanted Woody at the end of 3, and then here she's just kind of like off put by him. It's like, Woody, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here. I think that plot element is very weak and underestablished, but besides that, shit, I don't know. I think it's a great plot element. It's just to be Woody and Bonnie kind of like leaving him alone. I think it's weak that they didn't remind it like she really wanted Woody and now she's fucking doing nothing with him. Like, why wasn't that mentioned? But also, I guess they kind of like were like, how do we separate it and make an emotional ending? Move him over here. That's my one complaint. It's just the Bonnie Woody balance. Like, she really wanted him in 3. This one takes place just barely after 3, and now she just couldn't give a fuck about him. She wants him not really gone, but she doesn't play with him. He's always the one in the closet who gets put away. That he's like one of the old toys who no one plays with. And I don't know. That the fact that she really wanted to play with him that first one, that was like the big character she liked out of all the toys she got. And here it's just kind of nothing. It feels like the writers were like, we gotta get a way to separate them, so let's just say she doesn't play with him anymore. We'll write in that she likes the girl doll more. I don't know. It just feels weird. I know that that's a pointless element, but it did make me question it every time I watched it. And maybe some of the Duke Kaboom stuff, not all of it's great. Like, in general, Keanu Reeves as a voice actor is definitely not that good. He's just basically doing him, but talking like this. He's not doing much else. It's, like, very shitty, but it's kind of what adds to the humor that he's such a shitty and lame toy. And that's a funny concept to play around, so maybe that's what worked for me. A very emotional ending when they split up, and yeah, especially the Buzz goodbye was so powerful to me. 8 out of 10. Yeah. And it would be above Luca and Onward for me, for what it did for me. Number 8, Toy Story 2. It's the best Toy Story. Get with it! I'm not gonna deny it either. I think this is the best Toy Story. It improved on the first. It is probably the second funniest and easily the most emotional. That Jessie scene fucking hits me every time so hard. Like, I cry so much during that scene. Every time. It still gets me. Maybe it's just the song. I don't know, but it works a lot. Don't have much to say. Basically what I said about 3. What doesn't work about 3, all that shit works so much more about 2, because 3 feels like a rip-off of 2. So 2 just felt more original for its time, and I like its villain even more than I like Lotso. Lotso's fucked up and probably does some more fucked up shit than what this old, fat, smelly man is able to accomplish. The old prospector. I think that sadly, the person who played Lotso passed away. But I'm trying to remember. It just blanked on me. Who plays the old prospector in this movie? Why am I losing his name? I'm losing the actor's name. He's amazing. I think his voice performance is so good that it makes him even more threatening. I like them a lot in it. Yeah, it's my favorite Toy Story film. I don't have much to say about it, because once you get to your great films, it's like, they're so great. What do you really have to say? 8.5 out of 10. Number 7, Finding Nemo. I mentioned this was my childhood film. Still a film I like a lot today. I find only a few things so minor to not work about this film. And that mostly is in the second act, when we're first with Dory and Marlin on this adventure. I think that Dory and Marlin as like a team, some of the humor is a little off-putting there. I thought at first when I was watching, I was like, ooh, maybe, because I was talking about Finding Dory, and I was like, My big complaint with that movie is kind of Dory when she's on her own is not a fun character. When she's first introduced here, she feels like her own established character. She is kind of annoying when it starts. But eventually, I grow to like Dory in this one, especially. She's very funny. Ellen DeGeneres does a great job. Even though fuck the Ellen Show. Ellen DeGeneres, no denial, does a great job as Dory. And it feels maybe a little overly long. I don't know. To me, it felt long when I was rewatching it both times. I was like, maybe because I've seen it so much as a kid, it's just been the one I've gotten so used to that it feels too long. But I don't know. I like Finding Nemo a lot, and it's stuck with my heart this whole time. 8.5 out of 10. Number 6, WALL-E. WALL-E. Well, what can be said about WALL-E that hasn't been said by I think a lot of people? My only complaint is the fat people shit. I don't know. I like the first act is a masterpiece in storytelling and filmmaking. It's above a 10 out of 10. It's like the high peak of 10 out of 10s. The second act at first, like the first 10 minutes with like the fucking fat people shit, it's just boring. I don't know. Some of the fat people jokes is funny how they're just so used to capitalism, but once you get to the ending of the movie, you're like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have been laughing. That shit is just sad. They've been fed food and fucking news and entertainment, and they've been losing their lives. They don't even know it. They're stuck in front of a screen all the time, which I think says a lot, weirdly enough, about us nowadays. I mean, look at me. Fuck. Maybe not 500 pounds and I'm in a chair all day, but goddamn, shit kind of sad, if I'm being honest. I think that its level of humor is so honest and cute because WALL-E's just kind of like a confused person where he is. He used to be the fucking robot that cleans up shit, but yet he becomes such an emotionally relevant character, and his love for Eve is genuine. Like, you feel it. It's genuine, like, these robots want to fuck. In robot style. However that is. Yeah. Lovely film. Very beautiful looking film. As I mentioned, this one was the 2007 one. Sorry, 2008. The one before the 2009's Up. And I thought this one looked excellent. I think this is some of their best of their older animation. I definitely think it's just as good as Up. Very different styles, so it's hard to say, but awesome looking film. Space is a unique location, and it's something different for kids. It's not like some of their other cliche 6 out of 10 style films that don't have much originality. WALL-E was original, and it was their last one that I think truly spoke old Pixar tales, I feel. And I'd give WALL-E a 9 out of 10. Number 5, we're at the top 5. If you basically know all the movies in your head, then you know what the 5 are, you just don't know the order. WALL-E was debated for my number 5, but then I thought which one hits more emotionally, and my number 5, I think, just tiny bit more, hits more emotionally, and that is Inside Out. Inside Out only has some slow pacing in like maybe this 10-minute period, 20-minute period, some, when they're in the, when they're out in, like, Riley's head, like, they're going through the different lands, sadness and joy, and they first find Bing Bong. That plot element, some pacing there is slow. Besides that, perfect film. The ending is the most powerful ending Pixar has ever done. If you do not cry at this ending, you are a soulless fucking asshole. Ooh, product placement, my bad. Now you know it's Coke. I'm screwed, I'm gonna lose all this money. I'm gonna get demonetized for product placement. Inside Out. When you know it, it is just such a good film. The emotions are also unique and funny. It was the first time I saw a Pixar film in theaters. Not the first time, overall. It was the first one I saw in theaters where I went, holy shit, like, this animation's amazing. Like, I actually took it in. I saw Monsters University, which was the film weirdly enough before. It took him 2.5 years, a little bit. Yeah, did it? It really did take him 2-ish years to get this one out compared to the other one, which is Monsters University. And I remember, like, I saw Monsters University, I saw Brave, Cars 2, Toy Story 3, whatever. This was the first one I remember seeing in theaters where I was like, holy shit, this looks awesome, because it was such a unique style when they were in that other world. And then the human world was starting to, like, just feel more real and real as they grew, and it really does here. The parents are so funny, but there's also that emotional ending when she, like, leaves and comes back home. Holy shit, that scene hits me so hard every time, I can't even fucking explain it. If you have not seen this movie, do yourself a goddamn favor and check it out right now. It is worth every moment of your attention. It is one of the best Pixar films, and it is in my top 5. I would give it a 9 out of 10. And number 4, Ratatouille. This used to be probably around my number 10 spot, maybe number 11 or 12, until recent years when my friend kept saying, dude, I'm telling you, Ratatouille is one of the best. And I'm like, I've just haven't had an interest to rewatch it. I always thought it was like a good one up to like 2015-ish, and I always had it like in my middle, and then I've finally been rewatching it since about 2019 or 2020. It was probably either really early 2020 or really late 2019 that I bought that 4K Steelbook because they had a sale on it. I was like, I will rewatch this film. And I rewatched it like 5 times since. This film is fucking excellent. I don't know why. I must have overlooked it. Maybe to a kid, like a more serious chef-based hour 50-minute long movie doesn't have a full interest to someone. Maybe that was my issue, is I just like wasn't ready for this long and this more adult film. I honestly don't feel like Ratatouille is a kid's film. Like, a kid could enjoy it. My nephew even told me it was slower and he didn't like it as much. And I think it was just as a kid, its concept didn't enthrall me as much. But it's a good one. I just don't think as a kid I loved it. But as I've grown up, I think this is one of my favorites. Not really a huge emotional impact, but like very great storytelling and a very clever story too. Like, it's probably the best Chef movie besides Chef, maybe above Chef. I don't even know. Shit. The ending is pretty cool and awesome and a little heartwarming, but it's not really like that sad emotional film. It's just what this rat wants to do, and even rats have dreams. But it's also this great character study about these different characters. There's so many different ones. The villain character, just all the characters. It's hard to explain, but each of them get their own like study of characters. Like, one's a like grandson of famous chef, but he's a fucking dumbass and he doesn't know what to do. The rat is a great chef because he's always had these ideas he's wanted to try, and he thinks blending foods is great, and he's just seen it on TV so much. He's like, I want to do that, dude. Why are we eating food at like shit out of a trash? I want to become genuine and make food and shit that's delicious for everyone to love. And that's a great concept to play into, and I thought that it's just such a good study of character in a very unique storytelling way. Brad Bird did it, and he did the Incredibles films, so like, I'm not surprised that it turned out this excellent. And I'm glad I've grown to like it as much as I have, because shit, if I just never came back to rewatch this one, it probably wouldn't be this high on my list. Like, seriously, it's a great film. And I could go watch it right now and I would still be entertained. Ratatouille, 9 out of 10. Alright, we're in the top 3. Number 3 is Disney Pixar's Soul. This one dropped in December of last year, and what a fucking perfect way to end a year of shit and depression for everyone. I heard some people feel mixed on it, like they've given it like 7, 8. Some people giving it 9 out of 10s. I can get all of this. Like, I can even get maybe not liking it. I think that this is Pixar's most impressive film in so fucking long. Like, so long. My top, like, as you heard, Inside Out was in my top 5. This Inside Out came out in 2015, so we haven't had a, in my opinion, in 5.5 years, another one that even stood as like a 9 out of 10 or above Pixar film. That's crazy. Because most of it, as I mentioned, Incredibles 2, Cars 3, Toy Story 3, Finding Dory, Coco, it's just been average, not as grand shit that they've made before. Brave, Monsters University, whatever I can name. Point being, they just haven't reached that peak of like pitch perfect Pixar. I'd say like Toy Story 2, which was my number 8, and Up have been like really great to like damn perfect and amazing masterpieces. Like, and Soul did that. Soul just impressed me so much. It is a great character study on a guy who just has a dream, and it's just fucking cut off so short, his life entirely, and he wants to get back, but he's not taking an appreciation of the world. He's taking an appreciation of what his dream is, his future. Like, oh, my only thing is music, that's it. It kind of like hit me. I was like, oh shit, my only thing is movies. But like, what do I not take in time to appreciate that I really have all around me besides film? Like, and that ending, just to appreciate the world, to love and to experience it and to give it your whole life. Basically, if you wanted to make an emotional summary quickly, YOLO. YOLO is probably the best way to say, you know what, you only live once, like, fuck, take it. It's a impactful ending to let you know, like, hey, man, especially in the year of COVID, like, it's been a shitty year, and how do you feel you waste your life? I got through with movies, but then I realized, like, once I'm out of COVID, hopefully, if I survive, and I've made it, I didn't have COVID, but what if I did catch it and die, or some dire need happened? Anything could have happened in this time. like what would I have taken out from it in my life? And I think that this is a great film that shows that, while also being so unique and funny. Once we hit the Soul World, animation style is one of the most unique I've ever seen. It's like Inside Out, but trippy as balls, and I loved it. And I thought the comedy was excellent. There's she fucking like pisses off Mother Teresa and like Abraham Lincoln. They're like great role models, and number 22, just played by Tina Fey, is just annoying them because like Tina Fey alone has like that annoying loud white girl voice. So it's like a great concept. And they even make a joke about it, like, well, you have an older white girl voice. Like, why do you have that? And she's like, I think it just annoys people. It fucking helps me get out of things. I'm like, that's such a great concept. Because she's been there so long, because like they already mentioned that the souls are in order. So she was the 22nd soul supposed to go out, and just fucking years she has not went anywhere. Sold 2,455,000,000,600,000,400,212. That bitch is off doing shit on Earth. But no, number 22, she's just sticking back here all along. And I think that's a great concept. And so it's unique and stylized while also being emotionally relevant. It's great that it can be relevant at any time. Soul is not a film, unlike ones I mentioned, like, well, maybe like Toy Story 1, or even I feel maybe in the future, I'd say. I'm curious, like, how, and this is just in my opinion, I'm curious how in the future a movie like Cars is going to hold up to a later generation. Shit, in 2050, I don't think people are going to, you could watch Cars and be like, we got flying cars now, what is this shit? Because they're going to grow up and be like, oh, what the fuck are cars? Or when was that racing style and that type of humor? What are these jokes even? I don't even get that. But Soul, a lot of their films will, but Soul is certainly the one out of all the Pixar films, all this whole list, I think will be the one that will, in 50 years, still be relevant and emotionally prevalent, because it's a message that could never die, and that's just such an excellent thing. And yeah, beautiful. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. It's my first 10 out of 10 for Pixar. I'd give it a round of applause. But this video is so long that I'm like, and I have 8 other videos I'm working on right now. So probably just going to simply upload this without much editing. You're hearing this. I'm hearing it now. But you'll be hearing it later once it's uploaded. Number 2 for me is going to be The Incredibles! I was imagining a drum roll in my head, and I realized you're not seeing it. Great. The Incredibles is just simply Pixar at its greatest. It's most fun, it's most awesome. It yet took superhero movies, and I believe the film was 2004, and if not, maybe it was 2004. It was like the ending of that year, for sure. And it's just grown to be my personal favorite. God, I wish I was fucking alive when this shit was just first playing in theaters. That would have been an awesome experience. I wish I was old enough to be there. When I went to see Incredibles 2, I went to the showing that played the movie 2 days before it came out. Incredibles 2 was going to come out Thursday for its early showings. I went on a Tuesday, and they double featured this and The Incredibles 2 in the IMAX theater. So I did get to experience the OG Incredibles finally on the big screen, which was fucking excellent. So please, if you're out there, Pixar or Disney, and you're hearing this, put all this shit in theaters again. Put all those great ones, your classics, Ratatouille. I want to see it on the big screen. I want to see Soul on the big screen. Shit, that's new. Can't believe I'll never experience that because there's Disney Plus. Fuck you, COVID, for putting it on Disney Plus. I would have loved to have seen that in the theater. But also, maybe COVID helped make me feel more emotionally appealing to that. Back to The Incredibles. It's fucking perfect. It's so funny. So goddamn funny. Its villain works. Its comedy works. Its animation looks great for its time. Like, when I really thought about it, I was just like, in the few years since Finding Nemo, which was the year before this, and then, Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story 1 and 2 and Bugs Life and shit, just in, the 5 years since that came out, their animation improved to a point where I was like, this looks really good. Like, this 2004 animation from The Incredibles, honestly, if you're going against, some other studios, not 100%, but could hold up today against quite a few of them, if I'm being honest. It looks damn good still. And it's a perfect film. No flaws. Characters are all great and unique. The comedy is all funny and awesome. Its story is fucking awesome. It's an hour and 50 minutes and damn never feels like it. Its score, which is Michael Giacchino's score, the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh my god. Anytime that plays, you can't tell me you don't just fucking sit there and just revel in like how awesome it is. It's so awesome. It's incredible. Is and no pun intended, literally the incredible. The Incredibles. I could watch it any day, like some of these top ones I've been mentioning. It's so good. It's my dad's favorite Pixar, so leaves me only to go with my number one, because my number two was The Incredibles, and it's a 10 out of 10. What ends it? What is my number one? What is my all-time favorite Pixar film? What is the one that I have been fucking clamoring to for years? What is the one that me, personally find to be the most rewatchable, most fucking awesome? The one for me that has grown to be my favorite is Monsters Incorporated. Yeah, I'm hoping Monsters at Work does not disappoint, because the trailer's looking at very okay. More Monsters U style. But god damn it, does this film just fucking... It is comfort food the movie for me. Like, I recently had a bunch of friends come over, and we were talking about our film, like our comfort films, and one mentioned Inside Out. I think another mentioned, like, Ratatouille and shit, which I can tell you get, which is the one friend who told me get into Ratatouille. and my friend mentioned Monsters, Inc., and I was like, dude, I'm probably there with you. It's my favorite Pixar. And it just still is to this day. I would say around the time I was 12 or 13, it was becoming my favorite Pixar. But it didn't until recent years, like, clamor with me how emotional that ending is. I never cried when I was younger when Boo was separated from the gang. It never hit me. Fuck does it hit me now. Anytime I see that scene, I'm just like, holy shit, it's so good. Because they build up such a mass and emotional appeal between the characters at that time. And Mike and Sully are great friends, and that you can find that balance, but you can also feel the tension for them. That cliche is always going to be in every movie, is the conflict of, like, two friends, or father and son, or something that splits them off for, like, 10 minutes for them only to come back together. The way they do it here isn't only funny eventually when they meet back together, but it actually, like, I felt the tension. It's a rarity that I feel that friendship tension between them that feels so goddamn real. It's just rare for any film, not just animated or Pixar, for any film. And they do it in such a natural way. It's also the most unique film. What a great concept. Like, you're in the monster world, you got doors that lead to the other realm of, like, the actual world, but there is a way for them to get into your world, and it's, like, so balanced and unique and funny that they power off that. It just is. There's so much. The scene where they do the chase scene with the doors is a unique chase scene, and it feels more intense than car chases and shit you're used to and running on foot chases. This is just so different, and yet you feel it like it's a real thing happening in front of your eyes. So on just a stylistic level, on a comedic level, on an emotional level, and on a story level, and for the characters and all my believability and what this film means to me, I'm a big horror fan. And I'm not saying this is a horror film, but it has, like, scary elements. That's, like, the concept enthralled into the plot. And Billy Crystal and John Goodman are two people I fucking love, and they are great in this film. And I almost fucked that up. You Got a Friend of Me. That's Toy Story. But, I wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have you. I don't know the actual song. I wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have you. That song is probably my all-time, like, sung Pixar song. And then I realized, like, years later, I was like, oh shit, that's just the opening song of the movie. Like, the classic, everyone knows the Monsters, Inc. theme. I don't need to play it for you. You know? Everyone knows it. And I just realized, like, oh, that's that song, but it's, like, sped up and more unique. The opening credits, too, are fucking awesome. How? This is such a perfect Pixar film. There's no complaints I could make about this film. Pete Docter, man, he might be just like whatever steals Pixar now, because I mean, shit, he did Soul, that man did Inside Out, he did Up, which for me didn't hit as hard, but for a lot of people it does. Some people actually it's their favorite. So Pete Docter might be their shining star in that little area for them. So keep making movies, Pete Docter. I won't be missing them, because you've made my number 1 and my number 3 and my number 5 on my list. That's fucking insane, Pete Docter. Good for you. Number 1 is Monsters, Inc., and it is a 10 out of 10. So, this video is an hour long. When I was sitting here, I was like, it's going to be 30 minutes maybe, I can do this quick. Yeah, fuck me, I love talking movies, so it's never going to end. Ugh. So, with that being said, we are hitting the hour mark. Quickly, I love Pixar, like shit. Even when I talk about a lot of the average okay films that take up almost half the list, I still love them, and I will be looking forward to all their films in the future. Coming up for me in the future, what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to hopefully get my 4K in for Nobody, so I can make a video with footage from the movie, me discussing what makes that such a great film. And I want to talk about why it's great John Wick satire, because it almost feels like a satire of John Wick, and I want that to make a big video on that. So you got that coming up. Tonight I'm going to go watch Werewolves Within, a small film based on a Ubisoft video game with Sam Richardson that I hear is really great, and it's looking awesome, so I can't wait to go see that tonight, and I will get a review out for that. Working on Loki reviews. I'm watching them weekly, and as I watch them on like the Wednesday at 2 a.m., or I say Tuesday, but it's all the way waiting till Wednesday, 2 a.m. for me where I live, for the episode to drop. As soon as it drops, I watch it, I think, for like 10 minutes, then I get on, do my review. Once all 6 episodes are out, and that final episode's out, I'm going to release it, because I do spoil it, so I don't want to release them as they're coming out so no one will watch it. Once the finale's out, I'll drop all 6 reviews in one video, tightly packed. Shit, what else is there? This upcoming week, man, got a review. Got so many fucking reviews this next week. Oh my god. So Fear Street is a new Netflix trilogy of movies coming out that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And that's going to be... They're releasing one a week. The first one I will be reviewing. I will be reviewing it. I don't know when. It comes out July 2nd. The Tomorrow War is coming out on July 2nd. The Boss Baby 2 is coming out. The Purge, the new one, is coming out. Summer of Soul, the documentary by Questlove that everyone's praising, is coming out. I can't wait to see that. Zola is coming out this next week. Cannot wait to see that. So 6. I think I'm missing one. I'm genuinely sure I have a 7th film that I've listed. So I'm pretty sure I have 7 reviews next week, which is going to just fuck me so much. But you know what? I'm doing it because it's mainly for me. But if people watch it, then I'm happy that people watch it. So that's just an update to let you know. Ton of reviews, ton of videos and movie discussions coming. Yeah, so I think that's it. By my memory, I believe that's it. Don't think anything else clamoring is coming up. Oh, and I was doing a movie collection video, and I got like halfway through, and I went, no one's gonna want to see this, and it's so long, and I just didn't make it. If someone out there really fucking wants it, and you watch to the end of this video, comment it. One person who comments, I want that movie collection video, I will force myself to do it. Otherwise, I won't. Oh, and later, not now, but probably in August, I'm gonna get the Fred movies, hopefully on DVD, and I will be doing a review of the Fred trilogy, probably an hour-long video discussing those movies, which would be hilarious, I think. So, yeah, be looking forward to all those things and more, because there's so much I can talk about and review with the access of a phone, or an extra camera that I have over here, or a microphone, or a headset. So much I can talk about with just those 4 things. Who would have known? Yeah, that's it. Have a good one, and I'll see you for the next video. Should be Werewolves Within. Review for that. Bye.